How cool is this? I want to cook some kebabs on the rooftop looking at that, one of the most iconic buildings in the world, the Acropolis. Brilliant. Here, I've got a bunch of chili peppers. Some are hot, some are sweet. I've just blackened them up. By blackening these little babies, you intensify the flavour of the pepper, you sweeten it, the skin will come off and leave you with the most incredible flavour. So I'm just going to put it under this tablecloth here. I've got this lovely piece of pork here. It's kind of like the shin cut of pork, and I'm literally just going to slice it up into little pieces, just over 1 centimetre thick. I'm going to slice it across about 2 centimetre dice. I think there's a bit of a lesson to be learnt from the Greeks, actually. I think this whole kind of simple cooking, simple flavours is really interesting. So, just wash my hands. I'm going to marinate these little babies using dried herbs. And you know what? For years and years, I used to look at the supermarket, you know, because I'm well into my herbs, love me fresh herbs, but I'd go around the supermarkets and I'd look at dried mint, and I'd think it was a bit like naff. But I'm going to give it a go. I've never really used it before, so scrunch my bunch here. And then I've got the oregano, scrunch a bit there, some pepper, some salt. You know, ideally I'd let this marinate for like 3 hours, 6 hours, overnight, get the flavours really going in there. Lemon juice goes in. 1 lemon for a kilo of meat like this is probably fine. Nice Greek olive oil, just enough to coat it, and then a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm just going to use a grater to do this. Just stick to it at one corner. You could do it in a pestle and mortar, but I'm going to use that in a minute for some more garlic. Scrunch that up. Right, so I've got my meat here. Just load it up on a skewer. When I did history, my teacher, Mr. Nash, I got an ungraded in history, just so you know. I did it on the Acropolis. I just can't believe that all these years later I'm cooking on a rooftop where I'm staying, looking at that phenomena, and I'm sort of feeling the Greek love, actually. I've got to be honest, and I'll tell you why. Because back in the day, I didn't really care about history. I just wanted to get a bunk up, and like, I didn't care that that building was like God knows how many thousand years old. And you know, since I've been in Greece, I've already found out that this barbecue here that I'm using right now, you know, predates, this predates that building, do you know what I mean? This is their mobile cooking unit. They even had ones with a little dome over it for flatbreads or some kind of pizzeria type thing. And, you know, all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, like, history's quite cool now. Right, I'm gonna put these straight on the grill. I'll just give them a twiddle every now and again. They'll take about 7.5 minutes to cook, I reckon. So these peppers, they've just steamed a little bit, and then you take most of the blackness off. If there's a few bits in there, it doesn't matter. There's a bit of flavour in there. Obviously, too much of the black and it doesn't become flavour, it becomes burntness. And then just take the seeds out. Cooking on charcoal, I think, is actually 1/3 of the flavour in this dish, so don't underestimate it. And I'm going to use the fresh herbs with this chili dish I'm doing to go with the kebabs, just to sort of like spring a bit of flavour in there and a bit of freshness. And I'm sort of making this up, really. I'm going to roll the fennel and mint up in a ball and just finely slice it like that. And then all I'm going to do is just tear these chilies into strips like this. And obviously, if there's ones that you know are hotter, you can tear them into sort of smaller bits and distribute them a bit. Put that in the middle there. I'm going to put the herbs in the middle there as well. I'm going to hit it with what I think is the right amount of salt. It doesn't need pepper because it is already going like the clappers. Red wine vinegar. Probably, you know, for that amount of chilies, it's probably a couple of tablespoons. Little bit of olive oil. I'm just going to just dress it. And you can apply that to something that you'd put on top of a frittata, a pizza. You could put that on a crostini with a bit of mozzarella and a salad. But let's have a little taste up here. It should be like, oh yeah. That's good. Oh, it's got some heat as well. Sweet and heat. How are these going? Oh, come on. See what I'm doing with these kebabs? I'm really trying to love them and take care of them and look for the paler bits going on the bottom to get the heat. So, pork skewers, bit of love there. Peppers and chilies, bit of love there, big flavours, really fresh. And then tzatziki. Get yourself 1 cucumber or 2 of these little babies. Just grate it. There you go. Some grated cucumber. Right, What I want to do there is season that cucumber. Pick it up in a handful and just squeeze that excess water out. You want about the same amount of yogurt as cucumber. And then garlic. I prefer to be a bit subtle on the garlic. I'm going to use 1 clove, right? Put your salt in, put the garlic in, and just smash it up. And I really think that, you know, by smashing up the garlic and the salt like this, it makes it sort of slightly sweeter. And actually what you could do is actually put some of that dried mint in there. That's never going to hurt. So in with that garlic. And also, you know, when you start mixing this up and tasting it, you know, you tweak it to your personal preference. Give that mint a mix up. You want to hit it with just enough red wine vinegar to give it a little kick, you know. And again, it's about tasting it. Think about it. Get the salt right. Beautiful. Right, tzatziki's done. There you go. Look at those. They're nice little kebabs, they're cute. Just give them a nice little squeeze of lemon juice, a little extra seasoning of salt, a little bit of olive oil on that tzatziki, just to sort of fold it through. Right, so I've got my flatbread here. Let's plate this little baby up. Got the beautiful skewer. Just gonna push that onto the flatbread, like so. Beautiful. Gonna take some of this lovely chili and pepper and just put that over it like that. Just one nice dollop of that amazing homemade tzatziki. I tell you what, it tastes so different when you do it properly, and the dried mint is wicked. And then I'm gonna take the liberty of putting some extra paprika over it just to give it that hit. Okay, and then a little bit of lemon juice. Look at that. Really, really chuffed with that. I mean, like, every single thing that we cooked here was dead simple, simple kebab, simple sort of flavourings on the chilies and the peppers. The tzatziki was dead easy. But, you know, it's a little assembly of beautiful things. And that, around someone's house, load of beers, cook your own kebab, would be just wicked. Absolutely wicked.